We are Girl Scout Troop 570.
Our Silver Award project is to teach Southwest Indiana how to identify invasive species that could be in their own landscaping.
Invasive plants are non-native species that cause harm by negatively affecting the environment.
They establish dense populations in natural areas, which outcompetes native plants and damages wildlife habitats.
All of the following are identified as invasive species in Indiana. 9 of the 12 we researched are currently regulated by law.
Let's move on to how the Girl Scouts scout out invasives. Periwinkle, also known as Vinca minor, is an invasive plant originating from Madagascar. When the vines have flowers, they are light blue and around 1 to 2 inches. Periwinkle flowers have 5 broad, rounded petals. However, the leaves are shiny and bright green with a white midrib. The plant grows up to about 6 inches and is mostly found on hillsides, banks, and bare areas, as it is an ornamental ground cover, although it's also used for erosion control. Periwinkle forms a dense ground cover, ultimately excluding other plants, but it can be removed by oil-based herbicides.
Winter creeper is an evergreen perennial vine that was introduced as an ornamental ground cover in 1907. It has been reported to be invasive in natural areas in most of the states in the eastern half of the U.S. It can tolerate a broad range of environmental conditions ranging from full sun to deep shade and acidic to basic and low nutrient soils, but it does not grow well in heavy wet soils. Winter creeper is a vine that invades forest openings. It grows across the ground and climbs trees high into the tree canopy by clinging to the bark. Forest openings caused by wind, insects, or fire are especially vulnerable to invasion. Winter creeper can outcompete native vegetation by depleting soil moisture and nutrients, blocking sunlight, and by forming a dense vegetative mat that impedes the growth of seedlings of native species. Vines on trees continue climbing and can eventually overtop them, covering leaves and preventing photosynthesis. Only the climbing vines flower and produce fruit, making them a high priority to control. The leaves are opposite, glossy, dark green, oval, slightly toothed, with light-colored veins, about 1 to 2.5 inches long. Flowers are small and greenish, with 5 petals and on long branched stalks. Fruits are small, round, pink-red capsules. Plants that look like it are Japanese honeysuckle and common periwinkle.
Hedera helix, or English ivy, is harmful to anything that digests it and to the vegetation and wildlife surrounding it. A plant that is found on the ground and up high, it is a very outspread invasive. English ivy not only chokes off trees with its flowering vines, but also takes out nearby plants on the ground, creating an ivy desert. Not only a detriment to the living beings, English ivy, when weighted down by snow and ice in the winter, can cause branches from trees to fall, damaging property. Hedera helix can be identified and removed. It has green waxy leaves with white veins and can have 0, 3, or 5 lobes on its heart-shaped base. The plant grows up to about 9 feet per year, and to discard of it, you can mow over the patch, apply an herbicide, and spread mulch over the plant to suffocate it. If the invasive is on a tree, prune the stems from the roots, pull the roots out, and leave the remaining ivy growing on the tree to die on its own.
A moor honeysuckle, whose scientific name is Lonicera mackie, is a shrub that can grow between 15 to 20 feet tall. It has many stems and curved branches. It came from Eastern Asia to the United States in 1896. It was grown for its attractive appearance and it removes soil parts. The flowers are tubular shaped and they are white, fading to yellow. They can be 2 to 3 inches long and the bottom of the leaves are slightly fuzzy. There are little red berries that bloom on the plants in the late summer. It can reproduce by seeds and by replanting it. It can grow in sun and shade, and it can grow near fences, forests, and abandoned lawns. It can tolerate extreme temperatures, surviving in extremely hot and cold environments. It is located in the eastern and midwestern United States. This plant can be very dangerous to native species. It can spread rapidly because of birds carrying the seeds away, and the berries are not as nutritious to birds as they are to other native plants.
Privet is a flowering plant in the genus Ligustrum. Privet is a small group of shrubs or trees native to southern and eastern Asia from the Himalayas extending into Australia. Privet was originally introduced to the United States for landscaping and hedges. They may be evergreen or deciduous and are tolerant of different soil types. They have opposite paired leaves and distinctive bumps on their stems. They often have conspicuous heads of white flowers followed by black berries.
Chinese silvergrass is a clump-forming grass. Silvergrass can rapidly spread and grow. You can identify silvergrass by the flower clusters that are copper and turn silver, which is before the fluffy seeds form. Its leaves arch and are green with white midribs. Silvergrass can grow up to 3 to 7 feet tall. You can get rid of silvergrass by mowing over repeatedly, hand dig out roots, or spray with herbicide.
The origin of the burning bush is in northeastern Asia, Japan, and central China. It is part of the bittersweet family. Normally, the burning bush can grow up to 5 to 10 feet high, but if matured, it can grow larger. The leaves can turn a dark green color in pairs along the stem and can turn a brilliant red-purple color in autumn. Greenish flowers occur in late spring and red-purple fruits mature during summer. It expands locally through vegetative reproduction into new areas through bird dispersal of seeds. Some lookalikes may be the native strawberry bush, also known as the hearts of bursting, which has green non-winged stems. Saplings of the native sweet gum and winged stems may also be mistaken with the burning bush. The Japanese barberry is a beautiful flowering plant that was native to Japan and Eastern Asia. It was brought to the United States in the late 1800s. Growing up to 6 feet tall, it is a deciduous shrub that is commonly used as hedging. It has brown, spiny, arching branches that are covered in oval or spatula-shaped green to blue-green leaves that turn red to purple in the fall. It also produces bright red oval-shaped berries in the fall and has pale yellow flowers in the spring. This shrub has been shown to increase deer ticks and Lyme disease.
Autumn olive is an invasive woody plant native to Eastern Asia. It was introduced to the United States as an ornamental plant in the 1800s. In more recent decades, it has been planted to provide food and shelter for wildlife. Autumn olive is a fast-growing shrub that can often reach up to 20 feet tall. The upper leaf surfaces are dark green, while the undersides are covered with grayish or silver scales, which give the underside of the leaves a silvery color. Small, light yellow flowers occur in clusters of 5 to 10 and bloom in mid to late spring. Small, fleshy fruits range in color from pink to red and are produced in abundance each year. Autumn olive is a problem because it outcompetes and displaces native plants. It does this by shading them out and by changing the chemistry of the soil around it.
The origin of the mimosa tree is in China. It can grow up to 10 to 20 feet tall. It is popular in landscaping but rarely grows above 40 feet. And its branches grow horizontally on the upper section of the trunk, medium green in color, which nicely sets off the bright pink of the flowers. The tree is deciduous, which means the leaves drop from the tree in fall. They do not change color before they drop. The complex composition of the leaves gives the tree a light, feathery appearance. The leaves are also twice compound.
Norway maple, whose scientific name is Acer platanoides, is a tree that can grow from 40 to 60 feet tall. They are popular to plant along streets and in yards because of how strong they are. Purple leaf cultivars are widely planted and they retain a dark purple during growing season. They came from Europe and Western Asia. They are mostly found in sunny environments, but they can grow in shady environments. They have green leaves that are found on alternating sides of the branch. The leaves can be 4 to 7 inches wide and they have 5 different lobes. The front 3 lobes are wider than the 2 lobes in the back. They have bark that is a dark gray or black, and the bark also has evenly spaced grooves. The leaves are yellow or greenish yellow, and they are found in clusters that are present from April to May. The best way to distinguish the difference between the Norway maple and other native maples, like sugar maple, is to cut the leaves. If the leaves leak a milky white substance, that's how you can tell it's a Norway maple.
Calorie pear is a tree. It spreads by seeds that are carried to new location by birds. Calorie pear seeds are unappealing to humans. Calorie pear is an ornamental pear tree. You can identify calorie pear by the simple alternating leaves that are glossy. The flowers on the tree appear in early spring, usually before the leaves grow. A calorie pear tree can grow up to 50 feet tall. You can get rid of calorie pear by cutting them down and immediately treat the stumps with appropriate herbicide to prevent them from resprouting.
You can use apps like PlantNet and EdMaps to identify invasive species.
There are many ways to deal with these plants.
You can follow instructions to remove the invasives yourself.
For an example, you can apply a herbicide, cut it down, or dig it up to remove any kind of invasive.
After removing the invasive, we encourage you to plant a native species in its place.
Please contact your county's Soil and Water Conservation District or download the Landscape Alternatives for Invasive Plants of the Midwest app for species recommendations.